is so cold here today. It's about 40 degrees and it's blowing like crazy in the mountains. So the best thing that we're going to do is warm up with some bean soup from the north of Spain where it's snowing. At least it's not snowing here. We want to start by making a really hearty bean soup from the north of Spain where it actually is snowing right now. But it's based on their world-famous beans, Fabada Asturianas, a really large, incredibly creamy white bean. That's the core ingredient. And I have one little bag that I soaked last night for about 12 hours, and now I have this giant bowl of these beans. The other core ingredient to this are some pieces, but not a lot, of some wonderful sausages. So I selected at the butcher yesterday a little bit of chorizo, but not super spicy, some meat-based morcilla, a little tranche of back fat, a little piece of pork with the bone still in, and a tranche of bacon that we'll cut up and add as well. To the broth part, to make it really rich, we're going to have, naturally, a few cloves of unpeeled garlic, part of an onion, a little bit of spice from pimenton and saffron, but not too much because it's a mild, very creamy, smooth flavored to the broth and the beans, so we don't want to overwhelm it. I'm going to add a little bit of salt naturally. And one of my tricks, because it's not enough to not have all this flavor from this, is in addition to the water that we're going to cook the beans in, I add a little bit of ham broth. If you can get it, great. If you can't, it works just as well without it. But for me, it's that extra little something that gives it a bit of lift. We'll be cooking it for about 2 hours once we get everything going. And then we'll sit down to something nice and warm, because look, whoa, look how cold it is out there. The wind is howling. I took those beans that I soaked overnight, I've added them to the pot with a bunch of water on it, and now I'm going to add a few cloves of garlic that I don't want to peel, I just want the general flavor of it. So, and these are ones from our garden, these are the small ones, so I'm adding a little of that. Half of an onion that I've peeled but kept in quarter pieces. Our morcilla sausage, 2 of these, morcilla sausage. 2 mild chorizo. That lovely little piece of bone from the pork. All these nice tranches of really thick sliced bacon. And a little bit of pork fat. The next things I'm going to add is a pinch of saffron. And a little bit of saffron goes a long way. So I'm just going to add a touch of it, maybe a bit more, because I've got it. And then, of course, standard Spanish pimenton, and just a smidge of this as well. Not too much. I'm using the sweet, not spicy. And both of them are smoky, so that'll add a nice flavor to the soup. I want it really well covered, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. And I'm using mineral water because it will keep the beans a little less tough, and especially the skins. And it's a small detail, but to me, especially with these very special beans, it's worth doing. I'm going to put a lid on it, and we'll come back in about an hour to check on it. At that point, I might even take the meat out, reserve that to the side while the beans continue to cook so that everything has a nice blend. It's been about 45 minutes, and it's pretty important to make sure the beans are always covered with liquid. So what I want to do is check to see how things look. Looking good. And Now is when I'm going to add my little secret ingredient. Instead of topping it off with more water, I'm going to top it off with ham broth. And this will, not that I really need it, I can smell this incredible pork smell in the whole thing, but it'll just boost it that much more. Why not? It's been an hour and a half, so let's check to see how the beans are coming along. They should be pretty creamy by now. I'll pull one of these beans out of here. Oh, really soft, tender. And I think, oh, that's a garlic. I don't think I want to eat a whole garlic. I'm sure the garlic is done. There. Yeah, the beans are even falling apart. Ooh, they're hot. They're even falling apart in my hand. So, These beans are amazingly creamy. We now want to take out this sausage and we're going to slice it into rounds and put those individually, in the bowls so that they're bite-sized pieces. So let me cut up the sausage into nice rounds. Oh, it's perfectly done. I love it. These will go right back into the pot. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit so we can cook off a little of this broth. I'm ready to do the taste test before we actually want to serve this. And I didn't put any salt in it originally because salt can make a bean be much tougher. So I like to wait until the very last to add that. And it definitely needs a little, but the hammy flavor of this broth is really coming out. So I'm adding, probably a tablespoon of salt. And then I'll do another test. I like it right there. I think it's just right. This was so much fun to prepare this incredibly healthy and warm bowl of soup. The beauty of it is to have these white, big, creamy beans mixed in with some incredibly flavorful chorizo sausage, morcilla sausage, a little bit of nice chunks of bacon, ham in here, and of course, my secret trick, that ham broth. But however you do it, whether you use the largest white bean you can find in the United States, won't exactly be the same, but it'll be just as healthy. And the sausage, whatever you can get your hands on. So let's taste this and see what we think. I think I want to try a sausage. The pimenton in this chorizo is so flavorful. It's like a bite of Spain, and this is so good. Wow. I guarantee we're going to enjoy it. I think you and your family will enjoy it too. Thanks a lot for joining me, and stick around while we continue to explore other incredibly healthy recipes that take advantage of eating the Mediterranean way every day.